welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Uh,
Just for some context to new viewers, we have a group chat, and on that group chat, we often discuss cricket, and we spend a lot of hours discussing it. तो हमने सोचा कि वो क्योंकि डिस्कशन मजे की होती हैं, हम लोग उसको YouTube पे ले जाएं. Uh, yeah, that's about it for an introduction. You guys we have Vamu with us, Satar and Subbu. I think let's not get into too many details. None of us have anything to do with cricket in a serious way. We're just fans. So let's begin.
I would just like to, before we begin, I would just like to say I tried resisting the podcast. It is happening despite my objection.
Yes, he was like the poster for the
नहीं
podcast.
नहीं बट हमने काफी बोल्ड अजम्पशन करी है कि जो हम अपने ग्रुप चैट से बाहर ही कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे हैं एज इफ चार लोग के अलावा भी सुनने वाला है सो गुड स्टफ लाइक कॉन्फिडेंस हमारा हाई है
चार
Group
लोग के
chat के
अलावा
बाकी
क्या
नौ लोग?
आई थिंक ग्रुप चैट जो बाकी मेंबर्स हैं वो भी नहीं देखेंगे.
so at least हमने अपनी रीच from 16 to 4 कर दी है
That's good. But let's jump
but सही
into
है I
it.
think
I'm sure,
Yes.
Satar, you have an Excel sheet of agenda ready.
नहीं एजेंडा से ज्यादा मैं तो बस ये कहना चाहता कि हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस डेफिनेटली बॉयज से ज्यादा है तो है वो हम क्या कहते
Yes.
हैं ऑफ रीचिंग द ऑडियंस बट आई थिंक स्टार्ट ले लेते हैं सो मेन आज का व्हिच आई वाज डिस्कसिंग विद यू गाइस मेन फोरम रखते हैं कल के ऊपर जो हम एनीवे घंटों स्पेंड करने वाले हैं बात करने पे तो एनीवे एक दूसरे से ख्यालात शेयर कर लेते हैं तो आई थिंक लेट्स गेट इनटू इट आई थिंक पहला आई थिंक जो मेरे इमीडिएटली ऑफ द टॉप आ रहा है इज कि खिलाना किसको चाहिए नहीं खिलाना चाहिए राइट तो थॉट्स शेयर करो फिर एंड में मैं आई विल पिच इनटू माय ओन
Yeah, actually, so just before we get into like lineups and stuff, I would say कि थोड़ा सा एक review कर लेते हैं कि what have we seen at the Asia Cup so far. Because हम सब पाकिस्तानी हैं तो पाकिस्तान से पहले start करते हैं. I would say I think बड़ा mixed bag रहा है. To be fair, अगर आप इंडिया को निकाल दो तो हम undefeated हैं. But but I think I guess that's the main thing. So first match we were horrible. I think that was very clear to everyone. There was a huge deficit in terms of quality. जो बहुत ही ज्यादा वाजे हो गया था उस मैच के अंदर एंड ऊपर से उसके बाद हैंडशेक गेट भी हो गया which I think let's get into that at a separate time on its own
Can't
thing.
believe you called it that.
But
I
on
really
pure,
enjoy the term handshake gate.
I didn't name it
Can't
that.
believe you
I
called
didn't.
it
I
that.
didn't name it that. Crick Info named it that. But no, I think that was a pretty poor performance. Everyone can agree on that. It was, yeah. I think, but the second match that we played India, we were, I would say, a lot better. I mean, in the sense that, like, at least batting wise, we saw a lot of improvement. I think even with bowling, I think हम अच्छा कर देते हैं. I think Abhishek Sharma has been a foil to us and has been sort of like ruining any potential we have to do well in terms of bowling to India. So, anyone else have any thoughts on Abhishek or on Pakistan in general?
The fact is that he's not just a nuisance to us; he's been a nuisance to everyone at this point.
नहीं बिफोर कमिंग टू अभिषेक एक थॉट था बस कि जो तूने बात बोली कि इंडिया को हटा दो तो अनडिफीटेड रहते हैं आई थिंक इंडिया वाले भी यही कह रहे हैं कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया को हटा दो तो तेईस का वर्ल्ड कप अपना था काफी एक एक करके इस तरह निकालते हो
फर्क सिर्फ ये है कि हम अभी हारे नहीं है फाइनल में ना उनसे तभी हम ये सारी बातें बोल सकते हैं
क्योंकि टूर्नामेंट गेम में एक हारे वो भी ऑस्ट्रेलिया था
तो आई थिंक थॉट्स के ऊपर यार सो आई थिंक जो सेकंड वाला था मुझे पर्सनल लगता है जो परफॉर्मेंस थी वो काफी एग्जैजरेटेड भी लग रही थी राइट इंडिया हैड अ हॉरिबल डे इन द फील्ड ड्रॉप्ड मल्टीपल कैचेस बुमराह इज फार फ्रॉम हिज बेस्ट the spinners, unlike the first game, were not as clinical, especially Par Kuldeep. I think nobody was bowling that well.
And we scored 45 runs off of Bumrah, which was nuts.
Yes. So from our side, I would say it was not a perfect day, but it was definitely, as far as performance considered, I would say an above average day, right? And then Sky is not working. You produced a bond level delivery somehow to get rid of Shubman Gill. All of this happened, and still it was a very comfortable. Like at no point did they panic. यार अच्छा हम हार भी सकते हैं. So I think that The second match for me was a more reality check. अच्छा पहले में तो हमने बुरा खेला, ठीक है, that's fine. But जब हमने वो अच्छा खेला और उन्होंने बुरा भी दे दिया, yet it was a significant gap. So उसकी basis पे personally like ये कि कल को लेके I think just expectations बड़ी realistic है मेरी. Uh,
नहीं, for
मुझे
sure. I think, sorry,
रियलिस्टिक तो
Subbu, you go
हम
ahead.
बैठे में आज ये रियलिस्टिक तो नहीं है एक्सपेक्टेशंस, तुम्हें भी पता है, हमें भी पता है, हम सब थोड़ी सी उम्मीद लेके बैठे हैं। तो व्हाट आई डोंट लाइक इज इंडिया के पास पता नहीं क्यों एक हैक है बैट्समैन का। आई आई वाज रियली हैप्पी एंड अप्रिशिएटिव अंटिल विराट कोहली, लेकिन उसके बाद से अब मेरे अंदर का लिबरल भी नहीं सपोर्ट कर पा रहा है उनको। एंड कितनी बार हम ये मतलब पांड्या वगैरह तो वैसे ही जला देता है टू द पॉइंट के धुआं नजर आता है जब वो स्क्रीन पे होता है। बट दिस Abhishek Sharma is just cheating at this point. They have this hack of producing batsmen that can just do stuff like it doesn't seem normal. मतलब वही है, अभी हम लोग लफ्ज सीख ही रहे हैं, इंटेंट अटैकिंग क्रिकेट। ये अभिषेक शर्मा आ गया, इंग्लैंड वगैरह 300 कर रहे हैं T20 में, हम लोग अभी लास्ट वर्जन पे अडॉप्ट किया नहीं हमने, अब बढ़ना शुरू हुए हैं। ये एक कहानी और आगे बढ़ी है मेरे ख्याल से। हम इस पॉडकास्ट पे ज्यादा बातें हमें दूसरे स्पोर्ट्स की करनी चाहिए।
I
so
think,
on this,
sorry, yes, Siddharth.
sorry, Abdullah. On this, just so on the hack that Abhishek Sharma is, just an interesting thing. Yesterday he scored, I think, but 61 of 30 something ball, like basically almost like a 200 strike rate, right? And his career strike rate actually dropped. So while हम 140 तक पहुंच रहे हैं, वो 200 पे खेल के उसका गिर जाता है एवरेज।
और हमारा
Answer to that is,
एक sorry, yeah. Go ahead, Subbu.
that is what Mohammad Hafiz tweeted today. I don't know if you guys saw that. बोलता है कि हमारा वो सर्किट नहीं है, वो एक सर्कस ऐसे ही है। और जवाब भी उसका ये है, इंडिया के एंड में उसकी सर्कस को वापस सर्किट बनाने वाला बोल रहा है। That's it. That's
I
how you
mean,
predict.
look, we have to play with the tools we have. I would say one biggest thing is okay, when you're talking about strike rates, I think the only batsman we have who is a 150 plus guaranteed striker is Hassan Nawaz, who has a career strike rate of 190, short career, but still. And वो हमारी टीम में खेल नहीं रहा. So I think that's telling. But I think bigger picture on it, what I would say is that I think we need to also, as Pakistan fans, need to sort of recalibrate and stop viewing Pakistan as like this international
Yeah.
superstar team. And I think जब हम इंडिया से खेल रहे हैं, which is, I mean, I think probably the number one T20 team in the world right now, maybe number two, I guess, probably number two in World Cups if Australia is playing. But ultimately, I would say I think we might be being a little bit harsh on Pakistan as well, and these players in particular, in terms of judging them to this standard. Because ultimately, I think the truth is that we just don't have the infrastructural support or just generally the skill level to match India right now. I hope that changes, and I definitely think we can upset them. But I think it's important to note that we are most certainly a permanent underdog in this fixture for time to come.
Not this time, Abdullah.
इस पे पता है
You're
सबसे ज्यादा
hopeful.
ये जो sorry.
I would just like to say Abdullah's hopeful bullshit got me believing in Babar Azam for 3 years, and I never saw it come to fruition. Not this time. Fuck
say
your
what you
hopeful
will.
bullshit.
Say what you will. Babar Azam took us to 152 for none, and for that, I will forever be indebted to him.
I love him.
इतना ammo जो है वो पाकिस्तान मीमर्स को कभी हिस्ट्री में नहीं मिला जितना उस दिन मिला. So
अरे
Yeah,
इसमें
just
52 उंगलियां नहीं है, वरना वो वहां पे वही दिखा के आ जाता 150।
अच्छा बाय द वे, मुझे एक डर था ये जो अभी लास्ट मैच में अगर 0 विकेट पे कर जाते ना 171 for 0,
yes.
we would never. मेरे बस मेरे as soon as we got the first wicket I was like bas.
Yeah,
that's all we needed.
that was an actual
All we
fair.
needed. All we needed.
जो अब्दुल्ला
but
वो अननेसेसरी हेट वाली बात है ना, वो सबसे ज्यादा प्रोनाउंस्ड है साइम अयूब पे। सही है, बंदे का एक साल से सही है, अंडरस्टैंडेबल, लेकिन एक बंदा बचा है, ठीक है? बंदे ने आके पहले हाँ कुछ उखाड़ा पुखाड़ा सारी चीजें की, लेकिन अगेन वो उसका एक फ्रेश एनर्जी के साथ आया था। वो कोई छोटी सी उम्र में जाहिर उसका कभी ना कभी तो डाउनफॉल आएगा, उसके साथ सेम चीज होगी जो सबके साथ होती है।
So what I would say is that
10 साल बाद वापस लेना होगा।
अगर अभिषेक शर्मा पाकिस्तानी होता तो वो भी यही कर रहा होता.
100%.
I don't think this is an issue of Saim Ayub being untalented. I think this is, I mean, I don't even know how to get to the bottom
लोग
of stuff
उसको
like this, but
लोग उसको कह रहे हैं हमारा नया सही अजमल बन गया है वो।
सही
बेसिकली डाको के चले जाएगा, बोल में विकेट ले लेगा। सुकैन मुश्ताक बोल रहा है काफी नहीं है आपने सही अजमल बोल दिया।
Yeah,
we have-
just and I think we will get back to on track of tomorrow's match only. Just wanted वो जो अब्दुल्ला ने बात करी कि हमें थोड़ा रिकैलिब्रेट करना है यार, बट एक चीज है कि आई थिंक हमने जनरली हमारी क्रिकेट टीम को लास्ट 20 और सो इयर्स में एक एग्जैजरेटेड सेंस ऑफ लाइक हमने फार फ्रॉम ट्रूथ लेवल पे उनको एनालाइज किया, बट इफ यू लुक एट इट राइट ऑब्जेक्टिवली राइट, जितने भी मल्टीनेशनल टूर्नामेंट हुए हैं, बी इट 2003, 2007, 2015, 2019, 2023, these are ODI World Cups, and even 2020, even T20 में par the first three edition, while this the rest of the world was still figuring it out, and हमने थोड़ा जल्दी figure out कर लिया था, except for them 12, 14, 16, and then एक थोड़ा under power थोड़ी resurgence हुई, but generally the trend is common that we've never been world beaters post 2000s, right, at a consistent level. We have always sort of dependent on that spark. I mean, pre usme वो 92 to 99 एक पूरा generation of consistent world beaters, वो time काफी पहले जा चुका है, and हमारी generation, I don't think I have ever seen in my lifetime a consistent trend where going into any major match or any major tournament मैंने कहा यार boys ये तो निकालते हैं, but yeah,
So I think that there have been some lead-ups to tournaments where I felt like we have had a strong enough team to genuinely be able to think about competing. I think, for example, going into the 2011 World Cup, I think we were all pretty
yeah.
excited. And to be very honest, I think we had a pretty good performance in that World Cup, even in the match against India, which everyone says fixed tha, ye tha, wo tha. Yeah, we were bad, but we weren't that bad. It was okay. I mean, we bowled well in that match. Yeah, the batting was very disappointing. But anyway, I do think in the grander scheme of things, Pakistan has not been out of the picture in terms of simply not being able to compete at the top level with teams like Australia, India, etc. Until more recent, until the post Babar era, until when Babar's form basically completely went to shit, and our whole playing style then therefore wouldn't work. Like I think what happened was I think we overcommitted because in 2017 I think we won the champion trophy, and I think for the PCB and for Pakistanis in general it was a bit of a sign that oh we might be on the up here and this is a good squad and we can build on it, and that was a good squad. At that time where you had like Hassan Ali and Shadab and all these guys playing really good cricket. Fakhar and Imam were up top, were having century partnerships every game. Rizwan also then came into the team, did a really good job after Sarfraz. That was a good period for us. I think I have to admit, and up till 2022, I think 2021 में वो खत्म हो गया था after a World Cup exit to Australia, but I think 22 में again we got to the final. वो पता नहीं कैसे पहुंचे, वो छोड़ दो. But since then, तो it's been awful. It's been
peak
so
को
awful that we have not even been able to just like create upsets. You know what I mean? वो like इतना भी नहीं रहा है कि आप like पहले ही हमेशा से ये रहा है कि yeah sure we're not the best, but we'll overcome some of the odds and figure something out on the day, or like I don't know. But like the problem is I think we've lost that as well. And for me, I know people say that the 2021 World Cup exit was the moment where we stopped being whatever. But for me, I think it was actually that Asia Cup match. I don't know if you guys remember that Asia Cup in I think 23 or was it 22? We were going into the World Cup thinking that we are one of the top ODI teams in the world, and and that first half of the match happened against India, in which Naseem and Shaheen tore them to shreds, and then बारिश हो गई, and then वो match दोबारा हुआ, and वो जो second replay था उस match का, that was such a drubbing from India. I think we have still not recovered from that. I think that was just a realization that we can't compete, and we haven't been able to since then.
So not to be a Pakistani on this, लेकिन वो पहला मैच complete हो गया ना bro.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That was
elite.
नहीं, so two thoughts on that. Number one, जो बात है कि we're not capable of those big upsets, right? I think we all fondly look back. If you all remember, हमने 400 chase करे थे boys. Scoreboard कुछ और कह रहा हूँ, but on paper we chased down 400, conceded 400 and ended up winning the match.
We conceded 400, made 201.
But I think they just as far as downfall is concerned, yeah, I think there's a couple of issues at hand, right? Even in those, like there was somebody or someone sort of over, like थोड़ा सा bandage lag jati hai and the issues get hidden, right? Even before that Asia Cup, there was a very clear signs of ke Shadab is not able to spin the ball anymore. They've somehow forgotten that skill. Our spinners are not effective at all. But then because the pace attack was somehow managing to take up key wickets, so भूल जाते थे लोग वरना middle overs में like even Champions Trophy the big part of our success even though yes final में Fakar and Amir sort of stole the show but on the road to it Hassan Ali was the biggest contributor that between overs 15 to 35 would take critical wickets and sort of never let you get away with it.
Yeah, he took 3
and we
wickets a
stopped doing
match for
that.
the whole tournament.
He was insane.
Yes. So
Yeah.
and that was so we stopped doing that. Spinners stopped working out. So there was a bit of things of yes, it's nice to be able to put a date on it. They were Asia Cup 23 ka wo wala ODI match, but I think it was happening for a while.
Obviously,
It's
yeah.
just that that day sort of and especially because even leading up to the match, right? Wo Naseem, Rauf, and Shaheen were somehow Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins ka next generation. और एक बहुत ही रूड अवेकनिंग मिली एक बंदा शोल्डर लेके बैठ गया couldn't play the World Cup दूसरा और तीसरा were just never the same again.
I do think
I
cricket is a
think
bit of a momentum sport though, like in the sense that
Yeah,
like I think
for sure.
like and especially for Pakistan, we are huge confidence players. You know, we are like I think if we feel like we are there and we are really pumped, then I think we can pull stuff out. And obviously, you know, raw talent to hai hi. So if you give direction to raw talent, obviously it can do well. I think the reason I'm only mentioning that Asia Cup game is because I think it really just took the wind out of our sails, and then the Naseem
Yeah.
injury, which followed, really just like we didn't know what to do with ourselves. And I think because we cannot rely on like having like a good like I don't know thinking team that like can figure their way out
Yeah.
of situations. I think the problem is that every time we don't have that player power or that like ability to say यार we will just go and you know कर देंगे बस कुछ. So I think अगर वो confidence आप में lose हो जाए, then we have nothing else to fall back on.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think we also allow ourselves to get into positions like these, right? Like हम 2015 वाले वर्ल्ड कप भी क्या ही मुंह लेके गए थे अगर तुम लोग को याद है.
Horrible World Cup.
Well, our pace attack was Sohail Khan, Rahat Ali. There was just one more. Wahab Riaz was still over and sort of saving grace. Mohammad Irfan, the 7-foot guy. This was a pace attack for a World Cup in Australia. You need
Ehsan
like
also, right?
Ehsan Adil, yeah.
वो हमारा मिस्ट्री बॉलर एक पेसर था सिर्फ क्योंकि वो लंबा था.
Anwar Ali was also around, I think, at the time.
Anwar Ali, I wanted to say.
No, 2015. No, he was post 2015.
He was
2015
post?
was Ehsan Adil, Rahat Ali,
Oh, yeah,
Ehsan
Mohammad
Adil,
Irfan.
that's what I want.
This was the 4-man pace attack.
Still better than the Bilawal Bhatti era.
But anyway, I think the downfall of Pakistan, we might have to do like a whole 6 to 8 episode limited series.
Yes.
So coming back to the sort of preview for tomorrow. So I will just share a few of my thoughts. Right, I think ek cheez obviously one, Hassan Nawaz needs to come back. Like absolutely given, there's zero doubts on that. Especially if you look at there's something that I was just while doing a little bit of research. There's a consistent pattern that I've seen when it comes to finals in Dubai, right? So you look at the ILT20 final or the IPL finals or even previous Asia Cups final. One consistent pattern that emerges is while Dubai is notorious for not producing high-scoring pitches, somehow in knockouts or finals, maybe the Emirates Cricket Board is sort of trying to incentivize this or make the final a bigger spectacle. The finals tend to be on the higher scoring side. So if that's the case, then two anchors in Aga Salman and Talat make zero sense. Hassan needs to absolutely come back in. And then I have a little bit more stuff to share, but then I'll come back to this. What are your thoughts?
So number one, why are we out of a first spell bowler? Why don't we have a good quality, reliable first spell bowler? एक आप हारिस को देते हो पिट के आता है, which is fair. चलो सही है, this is what you kind of want with हारिस, मतलब ताकि थोड़ा strike कुछ करे. दूसरा Shaheen is off his colors. कैसे करें? How do you get, like, assuming that we finally win the toss and we bowl first, how do you get the game under control after the first spell? How do we do that?
So I don't agree with you on Shaheen being off color. I actually think this is the version of Shaheen we haven't seen for a while. I know he wasn't good in the second India game at all, or the first one. Actually, he was worse in the first one. But I think especially after this Bangladesh game, I think I think I think he might be back.
That's
I say
wonderful.
that, but
No,
I only mean
guys,
I only mean to say that in the sense that him and Haris both seem like they have a little bit more confidence going. Especially Haris, by the way, I think in the last match was impressive. I know उसने runs खाए, but वो हमेशा खाता है.
Just
But he was yeah, I
the,
think the tail was up, the pace was up. Let's
ये
hope
देखो
it
I have
continues.
रहेगा ना अगर
I have
आपको
a question to ask you guys. I have a question. So the first, like 2021, like the 152-0 match, Shaheen took 3 wickets against India. Since then, he has played 14 matches against India. I want you guys to guess how many wickets has he taken in those 14.
Or
less
Okay, sure.
2 or 3 I would say. Yeah.
2 or 3. Vamu,
he's played 14 matches since 152 for none.
yeah, against
That's
India. All the Asia
wild.
Cups and World
That's
Cups and everything
crazy.
included. The number is 1, by the way.
And
So he has
it?
taken one.
Was it a Virat Kohli?
But
I
but
don't know. I've not checked that.
but he
I've
took a
not
wicket
checked
in the
that.
last match.
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
In the last Sunday, no, he did not. Last Sunday, all 3 went to Saim, our leading wicket taker in the Asia Cup.
Arey, yes, of course.
Let's go.
So coming just on so just on the Shaheen question, see Shaheen, while he has a spring in his feet and doing well generally, 2 problems with him. Number one, against India, he has been statistically really bad. Even if you include that 2021 match, he has taken like 4 wickets at an average of 40 runs. So, and that's statistically his, like, India is the worst opponent he
You
has
said
had so
average
far.
of 40 runs?
Look,
Yeah,
Sataro,
so
what I will say is I don't think these stats matter, to be honest, personally. I mean, in the sense that
Average
like
of 40 runs.
I think he is look, I think obviously also he's also been coming up against like India in the last probably
yeah.
14 games have had two of the best probably opening batters in the world every time we face them, right? Like yeah, sure he got Rohit and was it KL at the time?
KL.
Yeah, but I think ever since then, like to do that every match is obviously going to be very, very difficult. These are top world-class batters. So
नहीं
um,
सही so that's why I bring the
That's no
Shaheen
argument
point
to
is why I bring the Shaheen point in play is primarily because there's a couple of issues at hand here, right? Number one, Shaheen has not done well, right? Now the problem is that Shaheen goes hunting for wickets, right? He just thinks of that since that magical night, I'm going to pitch it up and somehow the ball will swing and get that
It's
magical
Harris's job.
delivery will happen. So he looks for that magic ball. The consequence of that, he that gets hit. So it's not like he's not taking pitch; he's also allowing the
gone for
opposition to
runs.
score at a brisk rate, right? And then what you mentioned, Pakistan is indeed a momentum style. So जब वो 2 ओवर पिटाई हो जाती है, उसके बाद somehow everybody just sort of panics. So for tomorrow to do well, there's a couple of things that really need to go in our favor, right? Which is regardless of wickets, right? Obviously, it will be ideal if we get somehow Abhishek out early. Even if we don't manage to do that, it's really crucial that we have a clear plan, be that like length balls or whatever plan that they're coming up with, just stick to them. Don't hunt for magic balls, and just let them like make him hit you out, and then sort of from those dot ball, if we are able to build that up, that sort of will carry on and hopefully create some sort of momentum in our bowling innings.
And to
But
add
that's really critical for us to win.
that, this like lethal looking for like the magic ball, that's Harris's job. You already have a guy doing that. हम उसको एक पहला स्पेल में भी ओवर दे देते हैं, मिडिल ओवर भी थोड़ा दे देते हैं और एक डेथ भी करा देते हैं. उसमें वो ढूंढ रहा है, रन खा रहा है, सही है, understandable, that's the job. You can't have two people doing the same thing, you know.
I think with
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
Vamu,
Shaheen
go
and
ahead.
his confidence in the opening over, सबसे बड़ा मसला जो ये हुआ है, इन्होंने केएल राहुल को बाहर निकाल दिया. So इसका काम थोड़ा
कोई
मुश्किल है.
बंदा चाहिए जो कोई राइटर चाहिए जो ऑफ के बाहर बस
Yeah,
ये चाहिए.
Guys, वैसे I
yeah,
think
definitely.
जहाँ तक stats की बात है, I think one thing that is undeniable, and Subbu, I'll disagree with you on this a little bit, is that I think Shaheen is, if I'm not wrong, I think he's taken more wickets than anyone else in T20 cricket in the first over. So I think
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 times.
yeah, and I think that's something that's clearly worked for him. He does hunt for that magic ball, and yeah, and I- India aside, more often than not, he'll find a way to get a wicket, which is key. But what I'll say about Shaheen is that I think that I don't mean to defend him here. What I think saying is that I think there was a Shaheen for the last 2 or 3 years that we saw that was a post-injury Shaheen bowling at 130, 135 clicks, unable to get the pace up, unable to really do what he was doing against Rohit back then, just game ki hum baat kar rahe hain. So I think that has changed a little bit in the sense that now he's bowling into the 140s pretty comfortably. He's in the last match against Bangladesh, we saw that he didn't even go for those full in-swinging
Yeah.
balls on the pads. He was trying to do different things with those outswingers as well. So I think I'm hoping that we've seen some evolution, and it looks like Mike Hesson is a much more involved coach with regards to Shaheen. I think we saw this one moment in that match, जहाँ पे Hesson from the
Yeah.
stands was sort of calling for that slower delivery. And honestly, I think Shaheen, I didn't know even had a back of the hand slower delivery. So it looks like he's developing certain aspects of his game. By the way, that was not a great ball. It was a wide, and it should have probably been let go. Um, but anyway,
Uh,
my point is, I think they're trying to be smarter about it. I'm hoping that they are smarter about it tomorrow as well, or Sunday as well. And that, yeah, I think he can go for the magic ball. He just can't do it 6 out of 6 times. I think there has to be like it can't be that predictable that everyone in the world knows where it's going
yeah.
to pitch and where it's going to come and how to play that shot.
Well, that's
I hope
exactly.
this goes through his thick skull also. Like, I know we're all talking about it, but this fucker needs to.
Elite shot. Second, अपने ससुर की
Should I bring the agenda on the podcast, guys?
But just moving away from the agenda, there's one more.
Before we move,
Yeah.
Before we move away, Abdullah, ये Shaheen के all-time stats have very little implication for like game-to-game strategy. मतलब मैं वो all-time highest wicket taker है means nothing to me कि start the game में उसने किस तरह ball करना चाहिए. Number
All
one.
time.
मतलब you also like नहीं मतलब like उसके what you say.
हाँ हाँ.
उसके बाद मतलब you kind of also like spoke about it yourself. एक period आया सही ball हो रही थी, वो injured था, recover कर रहा था, fair enough. अब दूसरा period है. Problem वही है कि सही है आप मतलब ढूंढ लो आप अगर ओपनिंग स्पेल करा रहे हो, आप 2 ओवर करा रहे हो, अगर किसी को 1-2 बॉल्स अच्छी है जिसमें आप हंट करने के लिए जा रहे हो, आपकी एक वर्कर फुल टॉस निकल गई, सही है whatever. लेकिन वो फुल टॉस छक्का जाता है ना, फिर आप अगली फुल टॉस करने आते हो ना, वो मसला है. That's the problem here. Or वो is a confidence problem that has unrelated to like decoupled with his entire whatever he's done for in the last 5, 10, 12 years, however long he's been playing cricket.
Right. अच्छा खैर anyways पे I think और ज़्यादा वो नहीं करते. I just would like to finish on this.
हाँ.
I think I do think the takeaway should not be that we should, because we are afraid of getting hit, we should bowl conservatively. I think the intent argument applies both to our batting and our bowling. And I think going
Yeah.
searching for wickets against a team like India in the first 6 overs is the way to go. I don't think there's a world in which we are preventing Abhishek and Shubman Gill from scoring at 10 and over in the
Yeah.
power play, regardless of what we do.
So there will-
But I think if we can get a couple wickets, if we can get both of them in the power play, I think that changes the complexion of the match completely.
लेकिन वो
Yeah,
like
so-
कि आपको ये कि पावर प्ले में आप रन खाओगे, मिडिल ओवर आएगा, मिडिल ओवर में आपके हारिस के पास जाओगे तो 1 ओवर के लिए मिनिमम 2 ओवर के लिए चले जाओगे हारिस के पास, फिर वही होगा, फिर डेथ ओवर मतलब
No, but I think Abdullah's point is valid. There's no way to contain this Indian side, right? I think that's the honest answer, and we should just stick to that. I have a question for all of you. If you win the toss tomorrow, now typically you want to chase in Dubai, right? Because of due factor, etc. But Pakistan for the last 2 matches has been very insistent on batting first, right? And I think there's some logic to that, because if India bat first, and like you can't outbat them, right? So if you give them a free hand, they score like 230 on the board, you anyway lose, right? So what do you guys think we should be doing if Pakistan win the toss tomorrow? Bat
Ball first. You want me to go first? Okay. Here's what I'll
Yeah,
say. I think we should bowl first only because I think our record for chasing, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are, but I think our record for chasing over the last 5 or 6 years has been way better than our record for putting up a target and then defending it. I'll tell you exactly why, though. I think because I think we have much more confidence. I think our bowling is stronger when it's not afraid of getting battered or afraid of a loss. And I think if we bowl first, that gives people like Shaheen and Haris enough room to be able to say, okay, it's okay if we get hit for a couple of sixes, we can still bring this back. Whereas if we score, and this is the biggest problem, if there's a world in which we score 200, and that obviously then I would rather bat first. But most likely we will not. Most likely we will hover around that 150 target, and it's because I think our in-game assessment of what a good score is not good. I mean, even in the last game, you can see that we got 170, and I think some 170, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And Salman in his post-match interview said that we were 10-15 runs short. We were not 10-15 runs short. We were like 20-30 runs short. because of the way that they end up batting. And so I think that assessment within the game is so off that I think us batting first, we have no clue how we should bat. I think batting second frees us up because let's say they make 200. Yeah, we're probably not chasing that down, but I think then it's very clear what we have to do. I think then the thinking part of batting in terms of like, oh,
Yeah.
what's a good score and sort of like figuring that out, that goes away for us. And I think that's freeing, honestly. And on the flip side of that, I think for our bowlers, if you set a 150 target and the bowlers are coming into the game with the pressure of like, hey, if they have two good overs, the match is kind of gone. I think that has a detrimental effect on our bowling. So I would definitely rather bowl first, have Shaheen and the likes of them with their tails up, trying to get wickets as often as they can. And then even if they score 180, 190, I would say I would back some of our players if they come good. We can do. I mean, like what I'll say about T20s, I think ultimately is that we have enough players in this side. And that's actually not been the case in recent time, where you think that they can change the game if they have a good day. I think players like, I mean, Saim, I don't even want to mention these days, but even Saib Zada, people like Pakar, people like Mohammad Haris, if he, for God's sake, is sent up the order for once. These guys, if they're making 50 or 60 runs, they're probably not, they're going to have an impact. Uh, and especially if they know that they have to make 200, they're not going to be making 60 or 40 balls. They're really going to be going for it. Obviously, that can not come off, and it can lead to us getting all out for 90. But personally, I mean, honestly, I don't care. It's a final.
Fair.
Whether you
Sure.
lose by 100 runs or you lose by 10 runs, the loss is a loss. So I would rather go for it.
Yeah, likewise, bro.
Perfect. Abdullah is bowl first. Subbu Vamu, thoughts?
I mean, exactly what Abdullah said, so I'm not going to say a lot, but like I do basically what he said, bro. Because even if we recreate the first 10 overs of the second match in a chasing game in this final, I think we're in a much, much stronger place. Because then, again, the momentum thing also, we've got the momentum going, we're a momentum team. We look at the number going down. I feel like
I agree. I think, but the हमारे जो अब situation है, which for after a very long time we've seen a flip के, I think we currently don't have a batting intent problem. Consistency is something else, but I feel like they show that kind of attitude that they sort of at least want to go at it. But I think I grew up watching our cricket just to like at least take a fucking swing, yaar. मतलब, at least try to go for it. So I think with that and with the current Shaheen first over problem, I think मैं बीच में कटा था. I don't know if you guys went over that, but so Shaheen also has this problem that पहला ओवर अच्छा नहीं जाता तो मुंह बना के पूरा मैच हगना है, ये प्लान है इसका. So I think it's better that Shaheen bowls without any kind of pressure, without any kind of वो thought के ठीक है this is what we have to restrict the match. I think if you bowl first and if our batting boys at even just two of them show up, we have a fighting chance. I'm obviously not delusional enough to talk about victory. वो अगर कल हो गई तो बहुत मजा, लेकिन मैच competitive होने के लिए at least ये जरूरी है.
Time are you?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I think all three of you are aligned, and I see the merits. So I just want to cover a few things, right? Number one, I think Abrar has been really good, but प्रॉब्लम ये हुई है कि दोनों मैचेस में जिस तरह हमने बैटिंग करी है और हमने अंडर पार टोटल सेट करे हैं, Abrar has not been allowed to do anything, right? In the first match, he was 4 for 16, did not concede a single boundary, was on a 16 run, and they milked him because there was no scoreboard pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
If on the other hand, if they're batting first and Abrar bowled like 2 dots, then the third one, they will have a back of mind, yeah, हमें भी तो competitive score बनाना है, right? And therefore, he will be able to do things. So Abrar, and I see merits in batting first, but when I think about the idea of, okay, let's say we bowl well, we're not getting them $100 out, right? I mean, sure, miracles happen, but realistically, so a really good above average bowling performance would be getting them restricted to around the 180, 185 mark, right? Let's say we do that, mark. Now here's the thing, right? Then when our bowlers come up, now those guys are mentality monsters. So 185 के सामने हमारी टांगे ऐसी कांपनी है जैसे पता नहीं क्या हो गया. Right? So now I'm thinking if second inning anyway has to be pressured and anyway we have to rise above that mentality thing, who would I rather be in that shoe, right? And I'm thinking I would rather have my bowlers under the pressure because I know they can at least come out of it rather than batters. So for me at least, I think stick to the plan, bat first, hope to get around 180 and try for that. And then, and I think we could have gotten, sorry, so I think, so I would just on the closing that topic. I think 3-1. I'm the only standout here, polling out that I think we should bat first. Because just to support this, one more thing that comes to my mind also is the middle over problem, right? Even 170, we were doing really well. We lost a bit in cluster, and then there was this odd choice of sending Talat, but we got moving past that. Even then, we were quite slow. We immediately got very slow. If we just उस point पे भी अगर intent ठीक रहती, which I think is going to get fixed if Hassan Nawaz plays tomorrow. So वही है कि even if we bowl first and bat second, we lose in club and then that's it. They're lost. So
Yeah, on
that would be.
the Hussain Talat Hassan Nawaz thing. So here's my issue with this strategy, right? One is I think playing like a double sort of like innings maker Salman type role. I think the problem with that is that you can do that, but then if you're going to do that, then what's the point of having a tail that bats so deep? The point of having like people like people like Nawaz, who by the way
Yeah.
didn't bowl an over, having people like Fahim. The point I think Mike Hassan has had with the whole thing was that we bat deep. And by the way, हमें काम आया है. I mean, we saw against Bangladesh that they made like 80 runs in the last 8 overs, and that was mainly because of Nawaz. Um, and Hussain Talat, I think, had a decent game. Who was it? Who made the other 30? Was it Hussain Talat?
Right? Yes.
And yeah, no,
No,
Talat
Bangladesh
was
against
one of
Bangladesh.
yeah, Talat and Nawaz.
Yeah.
Talat
So, but my point is that having that backup where you are 6-0, 6 down and no batsman has done anything, and then having
6-0.
Nawaz and sorry, कसम से गलती से निकला है.
BCCI wants to talk to you, bro.
Bro, 30% of this podcast money has been charged from you.
No, listen, 6-0 because I'm a United fan. But anyway, my
So that's worse. You will pay the fine and be traumatized by it. So double whammy for you.
But my point is being 6 down and having people like Nawaz and Fahim still to bat who can still do something for you with the bat. The point of that, like the point of having a batting order like that should be because those 6 that you have are all going to go for it. If you're having people who are going to be like try to build innings, like we've seen Salman try and fail to do, then what's the point of this? Then this whole strategy is kind of pointless. Then you would rather bring someone like Wasim Jr. or someone like in from the bowl as a bowler and sort of give yourself more options in over there. But if you're not doing that, then 100% I think there should be Hassan Nawaz. But on one thing I'll disagree with you, Sitar. I think that you're assuming that replacing Hussain Talat with Hassan Nawaz would have fixed our middle order problem. What is the more likely scenario in that situation is while he may have scored 20 runs, he would have probably gotten out, put more pressure on us, and we wouldn't have been able to score the 42, 45 runs that we did in the last 3 overs in that match. So I think कान इस तरफ से पकड़ो उस तरफ से पकड़ो. I think हमने उस मैच में किस्मत में ये था कि हम 170 से ज्यादा बनाने ही नहीं वाले थे. But yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I mean, what I would like to see is obviously Hassan Nawaz back in the side so that we can go for it. And if we do end up having a good day, then that ceiling becomes much higher.
And Salman needs to stop trying to do that surface thing, bro. Like you're not him, bro.
I will die on the hill of please send Haris up the order.
Please send Haris up the order.
I'm not understanding why he's down
He
the
did
order.
ना अभी बीच में एक मैच में he came up in a 3
and he's been successful. He's been successful
Yeah.
every time he's been. I mean, by success, I mean it's a T20 game, so making 25 or 30 runs of 10, 15 balls, I think is successful. I think if he can do that for you, give you impetus, I think that I simply see no reason not to. And if Salman needs to come and stop a collapse, then he can do that, whether it's 3 down or 4 down.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, but here's the problem, right? So I think I don't know how many of you saw the Talat press conference the other day, and he was saying कि यार पाकिस्तान में एक genuine problem है कि किसी को middle order में खेलना नहीं है और spin किसी को खेलनी नहीं आती है. And I think that was unlike a professional cricketer in a press conference, that brutal honesty we don't come to expect that. But I think that is a problem, right? कि साइंड को भी ऊपर खेलना है, फखर को भी ऊपर खेलना है, हारिस को भी ऊपर खेलना है, स्पिन किसी को खेलनी नहीं है क्योंकि पड़ी किसी से जाती नहीं है, ऑफ द हैंड या ऑफ द पिच. So there's only so many slots, right? And Haris, while I think 3 पे is doing, is expected to do well, but then if I send him at 3, where do I send Sain, right? Or if I send Haris at 4,
send him at 4. Yeah,
but 4 पे 3. 4 पे the point is that he prefers early because like ideally he wants to come when there are no power play restrictions and then when there is space on the ball, right? Now, when he's coming 4 down, even 4 down, he would, or even 6 down, he would prefer coming in the 6th over when there's still pace happening, rather than coming at the 15th over mark when the ball is turning and there's spinners at operation. So the
You
problem
talk about
is,
Harris?
No,
yeah, Haris also, or be it Haris, be it
No,
everyone.
who
So
are you talking
सबका
about?
एक ही है.
I'm
For now, I'm talking about Haris, right? That
Okay.
he does well up top because there's no spin. So it's not the match scenario suddenly changes, or the requirement or his role or his style has been asked to change. The problem still remains that nobody wants to come after the 8th or 9th over mark and play 12 overs of very highly accurate, high quality spin. So now you just have a cost to make, right? कि किसको ऊपर भेजा जाए.
I mean, I think then in that situation, you play to your strengths, right? Like, I think if you are going to send someone up the order to bat against pace in the scenario that you're painting, where we're in the 5th or 6th over and we lost a couple wickets, I think even in that scenario, Harris is going to be more effective against that pace in terms of making more runs. I mean, if you are writing off this middle over or the middle overs period from, like, let's say the 8th over to the 14th over or whatever, कि जिसके अंदर हम लोग ने स्पिनर्स के अगेंस्ट जाके टुक टुक ही करनी है या तो अपनी विकेट्स देनी है. So I would say then maximize the rest of the time that you have, right?
Yeah,
Like, and you're not going to do that by sending Salman and Talat up front when you have pacers on, because they're just what at I mean, at least what we've seen now is that they're scoring maximum run a ball, and that's just a waste. So I would much rather have
yes,
Haris go up top,
But you
or
convince Salman of that.
dropping someone like Saim all the way down the order to come at 15 because his form is so bad up
Yes,
top. I don't know.
I disagree with that because देखो उसका form bad है, which will remain bad. उसको तुम 8 down भेजो, whether he comes collapse हो गया 8 down आ रहा है 8वें ओवर पे, या नहीं हुआ 8 down आ रहा है 17वें ओवर पे, वो वैसे ही most likely आउट होके चले जाएगा. तो अगर उसको तुम दे ही रहे हो तो उसको साइम को तो ऊपर ही रखो. बेस्ट केस वो कुछ बना जाएगा, वर्स्ट केस 2-3 बॉलें खेल के वापस आ जाएगा. That keep that where it is. Salman himself needs to wait before he goes onto the pitch, and that replacement needs to be Haris.
I
And
think his
also,
biggest problem is also the amount, how badly he how the kind of form he's in. I mean, I think with
yeah,
Salman, it's like, okay, if he was in better form, I think this might be a different conversation. Simply because I think he, at his best, is someone who can rotate the strike and play that support role. So if you've got one of the three of Saim, Fakar, or Saib Zada Farhan still batting, with Salman coming in to support that, milking the singles, putting them on strike, and they can still go for the big shots, then it still makes sense as an equation. But if you have Salman who's going to play 20 deliveries to score 9 or 10 runs, then
yeah.
that's just not going to work. Then you would much rather have Haris come in, do a quick 20, 30 runs and get out. I think that would still be a better equation for me.
so Abdullah, even in the best case scenario that you described, case Salman is doing what you described he's doing. When would you want him to do that? If not between overs 8 and 14?
I mean, then I would want him to come in and whenever we lose a couple wickets and then play through.
Yes,
I mean,
but
I
you
think
think
he has to play that anchor role. Then you have to like fully embrace it. You
अगर
can't play
play
an
की तो
anchor
बात ही
role
नहीं करते.
you can't play an anchor for 3 overs. That's just not, then you're not an anchor.
तो आई वुड से बाद में आखिर वही आती है 8 to 14. और सतार ने बहुत बड़ी स्पीच दी थी, लेकिन मुझे सिर्फ एक आवाज आ रही थी, वो ये थी कि शैडी की तरह.
क्या किधर है?
शैडी शादाब खान.
Rana Sahab has made that spot his own, it seems.
Yes, indeed.
राणा साहब बाय द वे फुल अपॉलॉजी लेटर्स फॉर्म भरवाने के चक्कर में जब उसको गाली पे चक्का मार देता है, जब गाली पे विकेट ले लेता है.
My problem with him actually is that मैं उसकी bowling बिल्कुल नहीं trust करता. I still think as a batter, you comes down the order, overs like 17, 18 में जाके वो, चले जाएंगे shots, वो मार देगा छक्के वक्के, but like I just don't trust his bowling at all. I have
वो
no
तो
confidence in it.
I think his
Like,
fashion choices
time
are
replace
bigger
करेगा.
crimes to humanity. Very
Because I
different
think
lens.
on the Rana Sahab thing, right? So there's two angles to this, right? One angle is the stability it brings and to the batting order, right? And that's obvious. By the way, Pakistan's lower half has scored at a highest rate than compared to the rest of the team, has a higher average than compared to the rest of the team, rest of the teams. And coincidentally, our opposing halves, India's bottom 5, have had the lowest strike rate, right? So it's definitely Rana being there is allowing others to express themselves better, also providing the stability. But here's then the flip problem, right? He's actually because of science pulling off a reverse Steve Smith as allowing some things to get sort of hidden away. But the point is that against India, like who do bowls the ball new ball, right? Rauf is terrible with the new ball because he gets spanked all over the ground. Fahim, at the pace and the angle that he creates, Abhishek would just sit back and treat him like a bowling machine and keep hitting him all over the ground. So who then takes the new ball? And the problem is you can't use Nawaz, right? And in fact, one of the key things why we didn't use Nawaz is because there was always a left armer at play, and he would be hitting to the leg side. So then that creates a very difficult situation for you as a captain or as a unit who bowls the fifth over quota for you. So actually, there is an argument to be made that have someone like, considering how good Shaheen is playing, give him that number 8 spot and bring in someone like Wasim Jr. at your number 9, because that at least allows you to have that bowling stability and actually a genuine bowler who you can utilize in that new ball era. So just want to hear your thoughts. Should we go with Rana on number 8 or try and experiment something in a final?
I would not experiment in a final.
Yeah.
I think you might be right about that decision, by the way. But I think Vasger not having played any. By the way, I just want to clarify it for our 3 viewers. I love Vasger. All right.
Love
I
who?
think Wasim Jr. I think he's a great talent, and I think on many big matches he actually has really come out clutch. And
Even with the
he
bat.
actually unlike many of our other bowlers, when he has a couple of bad overs, he is still able to come back at the back end of the innings and still bowl well, which I think is a great trait. But yeah, that's not the point, because I still would not play him. And the reason for that is because I think of what Satar, you yourself said, that I think there was that Fahim being there gives players confidence. And I think the combination of there being Nawaz, Fahim, and Shaheen gives a lot of extra confidence that even if we are 5 or 6 down at the 11th or 12th over, it's not like we are going to walk away making, no runs. I think everyone knows that they will probably get some bat on ball and probably make some runs. I do think, on the other hand, that we have become a little bit obsessed with this left-right combination, and that is and I think we saw that in the India match, where just to preserve that left-right combination, we did not send Haris up the order for God knows why. And I think we sent Shaheen against Bangladesh, which I think was a great decision. So I think that shows you just the two sides of that coin, in the sense that I think we should be, especially when you're in a tough spot in T20s, I think hitting sixes and getting your way out of it is much better than trying to say we're going to defend 4 overs straight and get 3 or 4 runs in those overs and then build from there, because there's no time to build.
It's happening for the second time. You said all those things, but all I heard was Ifti kidhar hai,
No, I'm not missing Ifti.
Mania.
Even
Come on.
even about your Rana Nawaz and Shaheen combo, I agree with 50%. Confidence तो आता है, लेकिन मसला ये है डे पे डिपेंड करता है. डे पे या कॉन्फिडेंस हमारी टीम को आ जाता है या ऑपोजिशन को आता है.
No, but I think merits
Bhai,
of that
they-
aside, I think banta to hai ki we play an extra bowler, especially if we're playing 2 anchors in Talat and Salman. But at the same time, I think I just wouldn't. I would not mess with the voodoo, and I would not change the combination for the final.
Agreed. I would just bring in.
That's fair.
Indeed.
Satar, what do you think? Or Vamu,
By the
please.
way, just to add a little bit on the day wali baat, I think even our greatest finds भी on the day की मार ही रहते हैं. Like, so ये तुम राणा के बारे में भी कह सकते हो और बाबर के बारे में भी कह सकते हो और ऑनर्स आफरीदी के बारे में भी कह सकते हो. बहुत छोटा है बड़ा. So
तीन हो गए.
So I think I hear you all out. I also feel, regardless of what the 4 of us think, I don't think Pakistan वाले experiment के बिल्कुल मूड में आने वाले. वो तो कुदरत के निजाम पे इतना चलते हैं. अगर किसी का लेस खुला हुआ होगा पिछले मैच में तो वो कहेंगे तू खुला ही रख, बिल्कुल ना बदल इसको, कुछ ना, कोई सिनारियो नहीं बदलना जिससे हम हार सकें. But now I come to another question that I had, was boiling in my head. Okay, let's say Nawaz is still playing, right? Regardless of whether we bat first or ball first, I don't think we're gonna have that conversation. What's the proposed plan to get Abhishek out, right? And I'll tell you just before I hand over, right, why Abhishek's wicket is obviously very important, highest wicket scorer, highest average. But there's another problem, that he's also hiding a lot of the flaws in the Indian batting lineup, right? Sky's batting average in the last 10 innings is lower than Agha's. So it's like two struggling captains. And also, the because of his performances and how he has played, the Indian positions 5 to 11 have faced the least amount of balls. So maybe they come out and they also start striking at 300 strike rate. It's just the problem is nobody has ever found that out. So they could also get out for zero, right? And so lack of match experience obviously counts, especially if you're playing in a final, right? So I think the underbelly to the whole problem is get Abhishek out early, expose them, at least make them play, and then see where you carry on. So now coming to the question of now that you've established that Abhishek's wicket is perhaps the single most important wicket, how do you get him out? With
try
Rana in the attack, by the way.
यार मैं तो अब ये कल वो भी बात कर रहा था क्या नाम है उसका मजहर रशीद भी कह रहा था I'm in favor of trying Haris in the first one खाए रन लेकिन देखो maybe he's got something in his team.
I have no idea. So, look, the problem with him right now is, on such a hot streak that I think that like there is very like, I mean, when I feel like when players are in that sort of like form of their life
Yeah.
situation, I think you can throw what you want at them and they will still come out on top. Having said that, I think he's a young guy and we've seen him fail in finals before, especially when I think in the IPL final he got knocked out in the first over by Stark. So I have some hope there that there might be like a, look, I would say the beauty of a final is that I think a little bit you can throw form out of the window. I think it's a big occasion.
Yeah.
It's a one and done. And I think you could hope that I don't know, you could hope that Shaheen's magic ball works against them. I honestly I don't know how we would do that. I don't know how, like, I don't know if there's like a plan here. I think maybe like, I think in the Asia Cup, we've seen that what has he gotten out most two runouts?
One run
Like,
out, once is trying to attack Syme. So like it's always been trying to up the ante, as if whatever he has set, you can up it up even further. But that's how he has gotten out.
He's hitting everything, bro. He's hitting the spin. He's hitting like ball into the pads. He's hitting something outside off. He's bloody anything, at this point. Like I feel like we should play around him, bro.
no, I mean, I think obviously we're going to go for wickets. We should go for a wicket. But by the way, Sattav, I do agree with you in the sense that I think if we get the openers, we get Shubman and we get Abhishek. I think that will really expose the Indian team. And like, I think, yeah, they might come out and embarrass us still. But I think that might be a game changer. I think exposing a batting
Yeah.
lineup that's barely got to bat in the entire tournament in a final to go and then make like 150 runs.
And
I think that's pole position for us, and that's why I think I would rather bowl first.
and I'm just thinking out, when was the last time there was a match where a team battered us in the group stages? We met them in the final. The top three had done all the scoring. And when we caught them out, turns out the rest of the side were not been exposed, could not bat that great. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a certain guy. His name was
A
Fakir
left-handed
Zaman,
bowler.
who was opening the batting for us. Yes, and a left-handed. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
But I think as far as and I'll hand over to Vamu then. I think the plan needs to be not the magic pod, right? I think the plan should be tease him a bit, right? Keep bowling in that channel where it's slightly difficult, even for the greatest of all, to hit, right? Just keep that length, keep hitting that. Tease him. The problem will be discipline, right? Our bowlers are not, nobody's Bumrah that can hit 6 balls in the same spot, but let's try for that. I think that needs to be. And from the other end, I personally would try and bring not Haris because he would get beat up. Nawaz, not Nawaz. I would actually bring in Syme only. Syme and Shaheen bowling and trying and just actually don't try and get him out. Try and make it difficult for him to score because the way he's wired is that he would not block you out. He would rather get hit you or get out doing that. I personally think that's the best way to get him.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping, by the way, that he gets caught up in this and that, like, I think, because I know that, like, people like Sunil Gavaskar have been giving him advice that he should be going for hundreds and, like, making innings and all that.
Yeah.
And I loved the sound of that. I was like, yes, give him some more of that. because I think because honestly, I think that might be actually his foil. I think if he starts thinking about stuff like that, I think is when I think he'll be less
Yeah.
effective. So
You can bro, your anti-Haris propaganda in the first spell. I don't get it. Imagine Shaheen pulls a Shaheen.
he's just
Shubman-
not a good opening bowler, bro. Like he's
I
just
know, but
not
like
good in the power
imagine,
play.
like
Bro,
Shaheen pulls a
You're
Shaheen, gets
you're
Shubman for the
amplifying his
shot.
weaknesses is the problem.
yeah, bro, just look up ODI World Cup 2023 and watch a couple of matches, right? Shaheen Haris bowling the new ball was a huge reason for our downfall because see, he has got pace, but
Let's
he
say
has
एक
very
तो
limited
obvious
line
है.
and length control. So, and in the
Bro,
power play, it's easy, right? You miss by a few centimeters. When you have protection, you can still get away with it. But otherwise, in a power play, it gets very difficult. So he's bowling in, like Abdullah said, you're amplifying his
भाई
problems. So
शाहीन
let's not
अभी
do that.
शाहीन ने शुभमन को ले लिया फर्स्ट ओवर में, तुम अज्यूम करो हो गया कोई केएल राहुल एक्शन हो गया, तुम सेकंड में नहीं ट्राई करोगे हारिस को जस्ट टू सी, जस्ट टू
No, no, no. Because you still have 9 other batters, quality
एग्जैक्टली ना, वो
batters,
मिडिल
and
ओवर में भी आके
19 over.
पकड़ेगा, और वो फिर तुम उसको 2 मिडिल में दोगे, तुम उसको 12 दोगे, 14 दोगे.
I think if Shaheen gets 2 wickets and Surya comes out to bat, then I'm definitely trying Haris.
Yeah, then it's a different ball game.
At least
Because
But that, yeah,
got you
I would
that
not.
far. True,
Yeah,
true.
I would not do it otherwise. Yeah, the problem with Saim, I mean, not that we have any other option. I think most definitely it's going to be Shaheen and Saim up front. I think और कोई मतलब मुझे तो कोई समझ नहीं आ रहा और क्या ही हो सकता है. I think Fahim would be a huge mistake. I think he's going to get tonked.
yeah,
And I think we should weirdly, actually, I mean, I think we would end up saving Fahim as a fifth or sixth bowler. I don't think he would be our front line. I think you've got because I think you want to get 20 overs. You want to get 4 out of Shaheen, 4 out of Haris, 4 out of Saim, 4 out of Abrar. And then you're left with 4 overs, which I think I don't know. I can see getting divided up with Nawaz and Fahim and maybe even Salman throws in over. I don't know.
This is Salman hasn't really been bowling tournament, has he?
He hasn't
no,
really, but
Salman
he can always pitch in.
only bowled in one match. The problem is that we are also I'm very afraid of the Indian batting is lined up with left-handers. You have got Tilak, Abhishek, Akshar,
Yeah,
Shubham Dubey.
which is why we don't
So
bowl
you've got
Nawaz.
yeah. So that creates that sort of problem for us. But I think yeah. So okay, we have got all good ideas on Abhishek. I hope Hassan and Aga have more better plans than we do. Uh,
Assuming हम पिट गए, कल हम हार गए, हमारी पेस अटैक खत्म हो गई, वर्ल्ड कप के लिए आमिर को आउट ऑफ रिटायरमेंट लाए या नहीं लाए, मुझे ये बताओ.
No, I think the world has moved past
No, no,
that. But
That's every time you write him off is exactly when he performs.
no, dude, he's like 36 or something now. Like I think that ship has
yeah,
sailed.
yeah. By the way, he's injured right now, so he's doing really well in the CPL with
Yeah.
the
He's doing so
Trinbago Knight Riders. But then I got injured. But on the question of let's talk the highly likely, and we're not being pessimistic, is just how everything is laid out.
Yeah.
We lose, right? So and as we have seen in the past, things get super blown up. Either way, if you win, we're the greatest thing to ever exist, and if you lose, we're the worst thing to ever happen. That's just how Pakistan mainstream media, cricket, public opinion works.
And that's
Do you
the
guys
right
see a
way.
word? Exaggerates the hell out of everything. But now the question comes. There's two questions: should Babar Azam be back, and B, should Agha remain as captain if we lose tomorrow?
I feel like yes to both, bro. Because
No, yeah, okay, that's a good
Like,
one.
I don't want to say a lot. I just want to say, कि Agha is trying to pull something off. I would like to give him some more time.
yeah, but you can't have Agha and Babar both in one lineup, right?
Why can't you? They bat on different positions. You have a set captain in Agha. Why can't you have both of them?
No, man, you
Saim
can't
is
have
up, or
like.
maybe you can replace Saim for Babar.
No, I don't think the lineup works then because you still want to play Fakhar, you still want to play Saim, you still want to play Hassan Nawaz, you still want to play Nawaz and Mohammad Nawaz and Fahim. So in between all of this, there's only space for one sort of anchor, one sort of player who slows the things down. And also the whole lineup, you can only see one player you replace. So the answer is if you think Agha is not the right material, maybe he's out of form, or maybe just lost faith in him for the World Cup, then there's only one place you got to substitute them. That's at least how I see it. Tell me what you guys think.
So
think we should move forward.
my view on it is I think we should remember why Babar is no longer in this team. And I don't think
Yeah.
anything has changed. I think that if Babar is able to prove, and I don't know how exactly he would do this. I guess you would need to give him a shot. But I mean, whether that's a PSL or other leagues or whatever, where he can prove that he is someone who can consistently go out and play at high strike rate. And because look, even anchor, I mean, people often like draw this comparison with Kohli, but even Kohli, like, yeah, he used to play at 138 key strike rate, but that was not all the time. Like, I mean, when he needed to accelerate, he could start his innings and completely go for it at 150, 160 consistently. I think that is something Babar just simply lacks. And I think that's what Mike Hassan realized when he was removed from the team, that even in the best case scenario, Babar may give you some stability. But unless he is the Babar of 21, where he is simply guaranteeing you 50 or 60 runs a match every single match, it doesn't make sense, because when you have that guarantee, it changes it, because then it gives you unreal stability where you know that you've got a guy who's going to play through, who people can play around and all that, and we found clear success in that. But when that stops happening, which has stopped happening since the last 2 or 3 years, then it simply makes no sense to have him. And having said that, I also think Salman has been a better captain than Babar. So to replace
Yeah,
Salman with Babar, I think it's too soon.
Me too. Me too.
Satar.
Mamu, any thoughts?
I think we just echoing the other thoughts as well. I think we should keep moving forward. Like I just as a philosophy, if you look at it, I think we should take our game forward. We've tried this. हम लोग 5 5 6 6 साल पुराने खिलाड़ी भी लेके आते हैं, उनको भी ट्राई करते हैं, बट
Yeah.
खिलाड़ी आज तक किसी होप्स में बैठा हुआ है. I think none of this is the way to go. Just keep moving forward. As
कसम
I'm
से यार,
fine
वो
with the
बंदा
like
अभी
I'm
तक
fine with the dip,
एक्चुअली,
right?
सॉरी सॉरी,
हाँ, नहीं नहीं नहीं,
I
but
understand.
उसका we should stop and make fun of him for 2 minutes definitely, but
Who are you talking about?
I
I
think
missed.
Ahmed Shahzad. Uh, like, I think at the last World Cup, the 2024 World Cup was a prime example, right? We somehow thought that, okay, this lineup is somehow super bad. Bring back Imad Wasim, bring back Mohammad Amir. Where did that lead us? Ahmed conceded 18 in a super over against uh, US.
Yeah.
I don't like that Jones guy. So, like I'll not let anyone else slip through the cracks.
Put
Moving
together
past that,
watching that.
but but I agree with Vamo that yeah, like that's if you've decided move on, move on. And ultimately, Babar has BBL coming up, right? He's going to be leading the charge for Sydney Sixers. Super happy for him, by the way. So if he can show that he can do well, fair enough. There's a conversation to be had. But if literally nothing has happened, he has played no cricket since then. I think like the Babers, I think people quote a lot of New Zealand tours, etc. The problem that I find with Babar is that he scores highly, like his strike rate is high up in the high 140s, etc. Uh, on pitches where we have 5 other guys who will score probably at 150 plus. And when there are tricky pitches, when you know you want someone to rise above that, he will still score at 110. So I don't personally see the utility that he brings, any new utility that he brings. So yeah, I think we're all right. Let's
No, I
keep.
think,
I hope. Yeah.
yeah,
but I
Sata, I
just
think
want
you and
to
I will agree that Babar is a world-class batter. I think that, yeah, he's had a few years where he's been really out of form, but I think what was his best thing, which is what I was saying, was that he used to take his first 10, 15,
Yeah.
20 balls to settle in, and then he had shown that he could accelerate. I think in a lot of match, like for example, the 3 or 4 hundreds he's made at close to 200 ki strike rate. He's made it on like 55 balls, 56 balls, stuff like that. So it's not that he's incapable of showing that acceleration. I think he is, but I think he is just a guy who just needs that time to settle in. And if he's out of form and he's getting out in those first 10, 20 balls, then he's completely useless to us.
I mean, that's what you famously say about him, right? Like he gets to a 50 and then he accelerates. But
I mean,
Yeah, I
or
think
a
the game
30 or
is.
whatever. I think T20s have now changed as a game. I think 50s are no longer a relevant milestone. I think it's mainly
Yeah,
if you can
yeah,
get, like, I think 30s have become the new 50s, in the sense that if you come out and you get 30 of 10
yeah.
balls or 12 balls, I think that impact is far greater than someone coming in getting a 50 of even like, 30 balls.
agreed.
again,
Acha,
depends
just want to
on
complete my
what.
thought on that philosophy that I was talking about earlier. I think uh, generally, as even fans, we should all, because all great teams sort of see that depth uh, throughout sports even. Like you can talk about Sri Lanka, you can talk about West Indies,
Man
you can talk
United,
about United, Williams, all of that shit, right?
yeah,
Matlab, you can be top
Ferrari.
prestigious teams and then you can have your time on the outs. I think we should prepare mentally for our time on the outs. ये जरूरत नहीं है कि पीछे पीछे जाके सबको बार बार बारी देते रहे. 2 3 4 साल just keep trying new shit. Eventually you'll find the people who will bring you back up. And until then we suck and that's fine. Matlab, it is what it is.
So how do you
नहीं, but to be,
that's already happened?
but to be, I on this out and out piece, right? On paper, and I don't want to exaggerate Pakistan's performances here, but we did win an away Windies. We did win the Tri Series. On paper, even though Afghanistan with all their IPL experienced players and all, Rashid and Mujib and Noor, all of this, we still won against them. 2 matches.
यार अब ये भी ना करो मतलब.
No, I'm not trying to say we're world beaters, right? We're probably going to lose, but I'm trying to say it's not like a complete out and out situation also, right?
I think that has to do with tum log ka delusion, and this is what I keep echoing on the group since the past 2 3 years. I sometimes find it really troubling to find how you guys are still like you guys still have a very positive outlook at our team. We've been shit, boys. We've been shit. The matches we win, we barely win them. You and I are still biting our nails to the end of the match. कि ये जीतना भी है, mood है, आज नहीं है. We're fucking shit, boys. And it's
on
fine.
that note also,
No, like no problem. It's fine that we are, but मान लो यार.
Like, it's okay to be.
On that, I have just and maybe moving towards concluding thoughts, right? When was the last time you guys remember we won a close match, right? You know, I'm talking about like how India yesterday pulled it off, right? They should have lost it.
Two days ago, dude.
Fuck
Yeah.
dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Tell me a time जहाँ पे हम फंसाए बगैर मैच जीते हैं. तुमने क्या सवाल पूछा है? When's the last time हम कोई ऐसा मैच जीते हैं जिसमें हमने फंसाया नहीं मैच?
When was the last time हम green shirt पहन के मैच जीते?
No, I think it was थोड़ा सा different, like in terms of मैं कह रहा हूँ जहाँ पे it could have been 50-50 type situations, right? वहाँ पे we generally struggled. Like I'm talking from a mentality perspective, right? On 2 days ago, we just ran into people with somehow smaller mentalities. No
Yes.
disrespect to those fans, smaller mentalities than us. But
no disrespect at all. We get it big time.
Yeah. So, but generally, जब भी ये मैच आता है, जब 50-50 situation हो जाती है, we somehow I was having a hard time recalling यार कि कब उस 50-50 में से अच्छा हम कहें कि यार अच्छा, you know, we were the one who rose better than the other team. Somehow we always sort of go तो या तो वही होता है कि शाइन फर्स्ट ओवर विकेट ले दे, साइम गेट्स ऑफ टू अ फ्लायर, इस तरह के कुछ आइडियल स्टार्ट्स मोमेंटम मिल जाए तो हम कहते हैं बॉयज अब फिट है. जहां पे थोड़ी बहुत प्लान सी और प्लान डी की तरफ जाए, जहां सामने वाले ने कमबैक करा, हम कहते हैं अच्छा ठीक है आज तुम ज्यादा बोर्ड पे लग रहा, जीत जाओ प्लीज. तो so tomorrow also my problem is that I don't think we'll see a close match, right? We will see it like a very one-sided one either ways. या तो हम बिल्कुल I hope so. As a fan also, I hope we get a close.
I hope we get a nail biter. Yeah.
I think the last time we played a close match was when we chased 400 runs from New Zealand.
But even then, it was not a nail biter, right? That was like we just walloped the way.
That was to be fair.
Yeah,
like, I think if that...
we were sort of like running against time and like accelerating.
No, running against time, but from the play, like the way it was going, right? The moment every time Sodhi would roll his arms, you know where the ball was gonna go, right? So again, it was not something.
Yeah, that was fucker on absolute fire. मतलब वो आप उसको वो एक उसकी it was a juggernaut that just had started and it was like I think actually पता है I think we might have actually even made 400 in that game to chase it down if we had the full 50.
What do you mean we could have?
Such was the momentum. No, such was the momentum.
No, what do you mean we could have? As far as I'm concerned, the verdict is concerned, we did do that. So, what do you mean we could have?
No. I think we could. I think we could have. I think we definitely could have. I think we definitely could have.
So,
yeah, I think the rain robbed us of a historic chase.
I feel like after what you said, I'm more convinced of Vamik's idea of your delusion.
No, that was a different time.
I mean, we're sitting on this sort of doing this thing and trying to find different angles of it. So I think on some levels, all of us are delusional, right? So
Yeah,
there's no two
yeah.
ways around it.
You can call this
यार
But I
podcast
देखो
think,
को.
ultimately बात ये है कि हम फाइनल में पहुंच तो गए हैं ना like I mean
Which
अब
on its
देखो
own is
like
kind of a
what are we like
ah,
and to be honest and from what I said earlier right like if you take away the India matches we are undefeated so and yeah that's I know that's a joke I know that's a joke but I do think that if even if this tournament had teams like South Africa and England and Australia I think as a team between India and Pakistan, I think we would much rather have them there than India would because I think we are at a stage right now where we are as likely to lose to Afghanistan as we are likely to lose to England or New Zealand or Sri Lanka or South Africa.
correct, yes, sir.
In the sense that if we have a good day, we will beat whoever's in front of us. And I think that's always been the case with Pakistan, I guess, in a sense. So
Abdullah, yes or no?
nah, that's fair.
Would you just imply that we are more confident against England as opposed to India because we have an equal likelihood of losing against them as we have of losing against Afghanistan? Is that what you just said to me? That's
no,
literally
I think we have a major confidence issue against India, regardless you can pair them like against any. I think we are. I would say I would be far more comfortable playing against any other side in the world than playing against India, and that's a fact.
no,
Yeah,
that's not the
yeah, no,
point.
100%.
So the idea
Yeah,
of
yeah,
South
that's
Africa and England being in this tournament is not a risk to us
I
because we will, on equal likelihood, lose against Afghanistan, is what you
No,
just
no,
said.
I only meant that in the sense that I think it's a bigger risk for India. I think like it would have been it would have been like I think India in this tournament would not have made the final if this was a tournament in which they had to play Australia, South Africa, England, and all these teams. Because I think Satar mentioned this also earlier that because of that Abhishek reliance, I don't think we really got to see India tested. And I think if they came up against like a really good bowling unit or a batting unit that's going to chase down 200 or set a target of like 220, 230 for them to chase. I think that would have really changed the game. I
yeah.
mean, I think India's had
In
it
my
really easy
opinion,
because it's almost like they are a Premier League team playing against championship opponents. So
yes.
yeah,
We're also not playing the final of England, Australia, and South
yeah,
Africa.
नहीं नहीं, I
but
feel like वो the fucking Kudrat match would have gotten us here
My
anyways.
God, man, he's delusional himself.
I
Oh,
Yeah,
still
yeah.
like I think
We would,
Pakistan still has the greatest chance in any tournament to make it because all the fucking
yeah,
scientific
अभी आ
shit.
रहे हैं ना World Cup देख
Science
लेना.
is the man, and it fucking works for us.
No, yeah, honestly, Netherlands beating South Africa was, I think, when I became a convert. Until that moment, I was always like, ah, it's a ye mazak chalta hai. But that day is when I was thoroughly convinced that Kudrat ka nizam is a real thing.
Yeah.
We should all sort of bow down to it. Because how the hell does that happen?
Yeah.
Netherlands play South Africa 100 times, 99 times South Africa is winning it. It just happened to be that one time when we needed them to win that happened. Anyway, I think काफी सारे thoughts share हो गए. Overall, I think all of us, verdict तो नहीं पूछूंगा because unless there's an imposter, all four of us want the same thing to happen. But I would just on a concluding note, I would just ask you guys. Let's assume Pakistan is winning tomorrow, right? And
Party
who do
मेरे
you
घर
think?
पे.
Who do you think is the player of the match, right?
Correct.
So I'll start. I think if Pakistan win tomorrow, man of the match will be Fakar.
I think it's gonna be Saibzada Farhan if we are winning.
Interesting.
that's a good, interesting call actually.
Yeah.
By the way, to be fair, he actually did score some runs against India, so I think
Yeah.
he might be coming into this a little bit confident. But
Both
let's
matches.
see.
He hit them for sixes both
Yeah.
matches.
But second one may short-lived.
That's fine.
Yeah.
6 is a
Yeah.
6. We don't do much of that. But honestly, I think this is like at this point, the only thing that's interesting to me within Pakistan cricket, because you guys know, मैं generally थोड़ा सा disengage हो गया हूँ since a while, but वही है, like I feel like he is the closest semblance to us playing some version of modern cricket, where at least he goes for it.
Time too, Pucker too. I'd say that front three is pretty modern
Yeah.
cricket front three. But I mean, having said that, they need to actually do it. I think the problem is that we come into so much pressure so early on that these guys also end up having to play at 110, 120 strike rates, which is sort of like takes away from their game as well. So that's obviously fixed. Our best player, if we win, I think man of the match. Can't see past Shaheen.
Nice.
For me, it's going to be absolutely. You'll have to be Kudrat as the man of the match.
Who do you
Who'd you
think?
say,
Sorry?
Subbu?
Kudrat ka Nizam.
No, but it's got to be an actual player. I don't think so. Who was it? Saklan Mushtaq? I don't think Saklan Mushtaq
Yeah.
is a candidate
जो
for man of the match.
कुदरत का निजाम embodies itself in a player. तो जो भी साहिब हो शाहीन हो असल में होगा तो निजाम. That's just...
My
Yeah, I mean, that's a
wish, my
cop out.
wish, my wishful thinking would say what I really want to see somehow happen is I want to see Saim Ayub
I was just
get
imagine he
get a
takes off.
century and do it at 200 ki strike rate and take us to a score of 200. Even if whether we bat first or second, I don't care. But just I would love to see him come through in a final.
Yeah.
I think if Saim plays a blinder, I think we'll be hard to stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Sam tramp stamp if he scores a 200.
And also, just sort of on finals, what Awamo was saying, Farhan actually, he scored his 50 in the last match at about 140 plus strike rate. It's just that on the other end, we lost 2 in a
Correct.
clump, and then his
had to slow
finishing
down.
strike rate, normally people accelerate, his finishing strike rate was below 130.
Yeah.
So if Farhan seems to be in good touch and Saim takes off, you never know. Like, we might actually just go all the way then.
Yeah, and I think Farhan had the confidence to be taking on Bumrah. I think that was awesome. And by the way, just to be clear, in that last India game, actually, I think we saw both Saim and Farhan look really good because Fakhr opened that match, right?
Yeah.
By the way, just
Fakhr was the one who did it.
I think we forgot to touch on this, but I think I think we all know that Fakhr was not out. We have a friend Yalmaz who disagrees with that, but I think he's the only one. But I think Fakhr was not out simply because I honestly just don't see it. I didn't see any conclusive evidence that ball landed in the gloves. And I think if he had played on, he looked good. I think if he had played on, and even if that meant getting us, 20, 25, 30 extra runs, I think changes the complexion of that match a little bit, especially because Saim came in after that and he also looked decently fluid. I mean, I think maybe just looking at the stats and his 120 strike rate might be a little disappointing, but I think he looked like this was something was happening. I think they were taking on all the bowlers. I think Farhan at the other end was also very comfortable. So hope for more of the same, I guess.
This is our annual what if moment.
Look, I'm saying if we are at the same stage where we are 90 for 1 or whatever we were at 10 overs, 90 for 2, I don't know what we were. I just hope we can get to the same stage and then not make the same mistakes, because I think the only issue was in that middle over period, and if we can somehow fix that, then who knows?
But honestly, I'm glad we didn't win that one, because we can't manage 2 in a
100%,
row.
100%,
I'd much rather us win the final.
100%, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
See, we are all
the
followers.
only point of winning that one would have been if Sri Lanka then could have finished the job and gotten these guys out of the final completely.
Lanka, what this is bicharo
Yeah, I think we have to be the only fans on this planet where, especially I'm very confused. Should I pray for someone to, especially from the opposing team, to do well or not, right? Because if he's like, normally would think अच्छा ये जल्दी out हो रहा है, ये out of form है, हमारे खिलाफ भी होगा, but हम डरते हैं कि तो यार अच्छा ये इसका रट ये हमारे खिलाफ ही मारेगा. And the other thing is
आपका फॉर्म वापस लाने की.
And normally लोग कहते हैं कि यार अच्छा जो अच्छा खेला अच्छी फॉर्म में, people pray यार अच्छा इसकी फॉर्म हमारे मैच से पहले खराब हो जाए. And on some levels I'm just thinking अच्छा जो भी रन निकाल लेना ये अभी निकाल ले तो ताकि हमारे खिलाफ. It's just weird. I never know what I should be praying for.
Trauma responsible. There is no rationale behind it.
I hope Abhishek has had his fill of runs. I think उसका पेट काफी भरा हुआ होगा. I think overeating नहीं करनी चाहिए, and hopefully अभी फाइनल में थोड़ा हल्का आ जाए, बोले भाई इट्स ओके, बाकी भी टीम खेले, थोड़ी सी चांस दे सबको.
So I think thoughts काफी ज्यादा हो गए. I think all of us, we know who to like, what we're going to be rooting for. Let's see if yes, whatever nizam works out and we get the result. Or nahi bhi pade to theek hai. At the end, see, it's Asia Cup. At the end, it's just a build up to the World Cup match. So,
No, final तक पहुंच
so we
गए,
are covered.
Yeah.
We are covered either.
final तक पहुंच गए, certified second
Yeah,
best
yeah.
in Indonesia.
We can't lose. We can't lose. I think the
And
takeaway should be we can't lose.
yeah. So and
There's a,
also,
This is a, like,
if Abhishek gets out early tomorrow, then there's a like there's a Nico Rosberg curse and F1. Then there is officially an Irfan Pathan curse. Every single team that he has supported has lost, and now he has said Abhishek is a great talent. So let's see. There's also a
Yeah.
huge curse test tomorrow. What happens? But
Yeah,
on
we are
that note,
dirty.
I think
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let's finish. All right.
yeah,
Let's we'll hopefully be doing this again sometime. I guess
yeah.
I don't know. Let's see how the match turns out and see if we actually want to do another one.
We could still do another
Acha, no,
one.
but I want to say, like, if
World Cup is coming up.
we have other sports, we have other
Yeah.
sports.
Yes.
And
Man
I've been on
United
this
lost again
agenda
today.
for a while.
Chelsea
So
off the
football
up.
hopefully is not one of the sports we're going to be talking about. But I think F1, tennis, football. I think there's a bunch of sports
E-sports,
that
मैं बता रहा हूँ.
yes,
Also,
esports.
अगर
Uh,
glory याद आ रही हो तो e-sports पे आ सकते हैं.
मैं तो
Now I
Esport, I
understand
think
why Vamu is a
javelin
part
throwing.
of this.
और javelin को भी miss कराना पड़ेगा भी हमारा boy world championship में कोई 10th रैंक आ गया.
नहीं it's okay यार उनका भी बॉय जो है वो निकल
कोच
गया
को
हम होपफुली नहीं
नीरज
आ जाएगा
चोपड़ा
वापस इज कमिंग
भाई
बैक फ्रॉम एन
जिंदगी को
इंजरी
आसान रखो. जिंदगी को आसान रखो. हमने 92 वाला वर्ल्ड कप कम से कम 15 साल घसीटा है. अभी बॉय गोल्ड लेके आया. वी गुड.
I agree. By the way, I think we are still good from the 17 Champions Trophy win. अभी I think वो 2030 के बाद थोड़ा सा चेक करेंगे कि हमें अभी दूसरी की जरूरत है कि नहीं. अभी तो इसको चलाओ.
वो मैंने इस साल alone मैंने कम से कम 3 highlight देखी उस पूरे मैच की just this year.
Oh man.
I think
Yeah, it might be my most watched YouTube video. I think with that Nasir's and commentary, I think it is possibly the greatest cricketing moment in the history of the world.
Mohammad Amir की slide actually मेरे पैड
fuck, I love that, yaar. I love that.
Yeah, best. Top tier shit. Let's hope Fucker has another one of those nights. And on that note, I think let's call it.
Let's call it. Okay.
All right, guys.
Nice.
Been fun.
Been
See you
fun.
guys.
The 3 followers who are going to watch this stuff.